A long time ago, there was a small kingdom. In that kingdom lived a young man named Sebastian. He used to make such beautiful statues from stones that it felt as if they were alive. People said there is magic in Sebastian's hands. One day, Sebastian's master said, "I need a rare stone which is found only in the Black Forest." The Black Forest was a place about which people said that time stops there and demons rule it. Sebastian picked up his tools, his chisel and hammer, and set out on his journey. For a few days, everything was fine. He walked through the trees, ate fruits to fill his stomach, and looked at the shapes of rocks, thinking, if only these came into my hands, what art I could create. But one morning, when he was resting by the river, the ground started shaking violently. He stood up in fear. Right in front of him stood a giant demon. His name was Dravok. His skin was as hard as stone, and his eyes burned like red coals. The demon growled, "Oh, a tiny human! What are you doing in my territory? Now you will be my slave." Sebastian trembled and said softly, "I am just a sculptor. I don't wish to harm anyone." The demon laughed loudly. "A sculptor? Good, you'll be useful to me. You'll stay here and work as I say." Sebastian's days became full of hardship. Every day he carried stones for the demon, cleaned the caves, and endured his meaningless shouting. Dravok was cruel and lazy. He would kill even for the smallest mistake. Every night Sebastian thought, if only I could escape somehow. One night his chance came. The demon was in a deep sleep. Sebastian slowly began climbing down the mountain. Just a few more steps when suddenly there was a thunderous roar. The demon had woken up. He grabbed Sebastian in one swift move and growled, trying to escape. "Now I'll teach you a lesson." He tied Sebastian to a big banyan tree with iron chains. Dravok thundered, "Don't even think of running again, or I'll break your bones." Tears filled Sebastian's eyes. He felt as if his life was over. That night, bound in chains, he looked up at the sky. Moonlight spread everywhere. Suddenly, a soft glow appeared before him. Small, bright, flying creatures, the forest fairies. Among them was one, shining the brightest Eloin, the queen of the fairies. She spoke gently, "Kind-hearted human, we know your pain. Dravok has destroyed this forest for years. We cannot fight him directly. Our magic doesn't work on big creatures." "But you are our hope," Sebastian asked in surprise. "Me? But I am his slave." Eloin smiled softly. "Yes, but you can bring life to stone. Dravok's strength lies in the immortal amulet hanging around his neck. If that amulet breaks, his power will be gone." Sebastian whispered, "But reaching him is impossible." Eloin raised her glowing hand. In it was a tiny, shining chisel and hammer. "These are dream tools. With them, you can break magical bonds. But for that, you must complete 3 difficult tasks." Sebastian took a deep breath. "I am ready," Eloin said. "The first task, Dravok has built a dam on the river, stopping the water. Because of this, the forest is drying up. You must break that dam tonight without waking the demon." Sebastian nodded. Eloin touched the chains with her shining fingers. They broke instantly. She gave him a glowing dust that could make him invisible. "Remember," she said, "it will only last for 1 hour." Then she flew back into the sky. Sebastian took a deep breath, sprinkled the dust on himself, and vanished. He quietly walked out of the demon's cave and moved toward the dam. The dam was huge, like a mountain of rock. Sebastian thought, "How can I move such heavy stones alone?" Just then, a soft glow surrounded him. Elowen and the other fairies appeared, glittering in the air. Elowen said, "These stones are bound by magic. Each one has a weak spot that is what you must break." Sebastian took out his dream chisel and struck the weak point. Ting! A small crack appeared. He struck harder. With every hit, light spread through the stones. The fairies circled around him, giving him strength with their light. Slowly, the magical bond of the stones began to loosen. Then, with one powerful strike, a large part of the dam broke apart. Water gushed out fiercely, and the dry forest came alive again. The sound of the rushing water woke Dravok. He roared in anger. "What happened? Who broke my dam?" But he saw no one. He looked up at the sky and growled, "Has the forest itself turned against me?" And somewhere nearby, invisible, Sebastian smiled at his victory. That night, as the forest became silent again, Elowen appeared once more. "You did the first task beautifully," she said. "Now the second one will be even harder," she explained. "Dravok has a cave of illusions. Inside it, he has trapped the souls of those he swallowed long ago. To free them, you must find 7 colored stones. Each one hides a deadly riddle." Sebastian grew a little nervous, but said, "If it can bring someone peace, I will try." Elowen gave him a small lamp of light. "This lamp can chase away illusions. Keep it burning always." Sebastian entered the cave, holding the lamp high. Inside, everything kept changing. Paths twisted, walls moved, and strange sounds echoed. Sometimes crying, sometimes laughter. He was scared, but he kept moving forward. Before the first stone, a voice spoke. "I don't speak, but my melody is everywhere. I am made of stone, yet my voice is full of life. Who am I?" Sebastian smiled. "That's my art, the statue." He lifted his chisel and carved a beautiful figure. As he struck the last blow, the first colored stone began to shine. He went on, solving one riddle after another, facing his fears, his anger, his pain. Finally, at the 7th stone, he saw his guru's statue before him. Dravok's voice thundered. "Only if you break this statue will you get the 7th stone." Sebastian's hands trembled. That statue was like his god. Then Elowen's soft voice whispered, "It's not real, it's an illusion. If you want truth, you must break it." Sebastian gathered courage, raised his chisel, and with one strike, ting, the statue shattered. From it came the 7th stone, glowing brightly. As soon as he placed all 7 stones together, a blinding light filled the cave. The trapped souls floated out, smiling, and slowly disappeared into the sky. The cave became silent, peaceful. It felt as if a great burden had been lifted. When Sebastian came out, even the wind had changed, lighter, calmer. the forest felt free again. Dravok's power had weakened greatly. The next morning, Elowyn came again and said, "Only the final 2 steps remain. Sebastian, the demon's strength is half gone. Now you must destroy his mighty axe, the weapon he has used to frighten everyone for centuries." Sebastian said firmly, "I will do it." Elowyn again made him invisible and warned, "The axe is hidden behind his throne. Be careful, its metal is magical and hard to break." Sebastian applied the dust and entered the cave quietly. The demon was sleeping, his breath rumbling like thunder. Behind the throne, a large stone held the axe. Sebastian took out his dream chisel and began to strike. With each hit, blue light flickered from the axe, as if it was trying to defend itself. Suddenly, there was a loud roar. The demon had woken up. "You broke my dam. You freed the souls. And now you dare touch my axe?" He lunged at Sebastian with full fury. Sebastian barely dodged, but his invisible dust had worn off. Now he stood face to face with a demon. No magic, no shield, but this time there was no fear on his face. After all those trials, a new courage had awakened inside him. He was no longer the trembling slave, he was a warrior of spirit. Just then, a powerful light descended from the cave's ceiling. Elowyn and hundreds of fairies appeared, spinning through the air, surrounding the demon in their light. Dravok screamed, blinded for a moment. Sebastian saw his chance. He lifted his chisel and struck the axe at its joint. A thunderous sound echoed as the axe split in half. As it broke, the demon's remaining strength vanished. His giant body began to shrink until he was the size of a man. Now, his eyes held no anger, only fear. He fell to the ground, trembling, but around his neck still glowed the immortal amulet, the source of his eternal life. He clutched it and screamed, "No, I cannot die. This amulet holds my immortality." Elowyn's voice called from above, "Now, Sebastian, strike the amulet." Without a moment's delay, Sebastian raised his dream chisel. All the fairies' light flowed into it. He aimed carefully and struck. Ting! The amulet shattered into 1,000 pieces. A black smoke rose from it, spreading through the air, and slowly disappeared. The light faded from Dravok's eyes. His body turned cold and heavy like stone. He was now nothing more than a lifeless statue. Elowyn and her fairies came down, chanted their spells, and buried him deep underground, where he could never harm anyone again. The entire forest sighed in relief. Green leaves returned, rivers flowed freely, and the air filled with a sweet new fragrance. Elowyn smiled and said, "With your courage and art, you have saved our forest. You are no longer a slave, you are the guardian of this land." Then she took out a golden magical necklace and said, "Whenever you wish to return home, wear this. It will take you back to your kingdom." Sebastian thanked the fairies and, with his chisel and hammer, walked out of the black forest. He returned to his kingdom and went straight to his master. He told him the whole story. The master smiled and said, "I always knew your art would save you." With his dream tools, Sebastian made a new statue of a fairy and a brave human standing together. His art inspired the entire kingdom. He taught people that true power does not lie in magic or strength, but in wisdom, courage, and human emotion. The king of that land declared Sebastian the greatest artist of the realm and the protector of the Black Forest. Sebastian never feared again. He took every hardship as a lesson. He knew whenever he needed it, the fairies' light would always be with him. If you liked this story, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Your love and support mean the world to me and give me the strength to reach my dreams.